Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. We want to note that this meeting is being broadcast on the NUSD's YouTube channel at the direction of the board. The broadcast may capture images and sounds from those attending the meeting. If you'd like to make public comment on any items on the agenda or not on the agenda, which will happen after all of our wonderful accolades, you can do so at the side table. The Board of Trustees will be closing tonight's meeting in honor of Patricia Warren. Ms. Warren served on both the NUSD Governing Board and the Marin County Office of Education's Governing Board. She was appointed to Novato's board in 1976 and served for 9 years. She then served on the Marin County Board for 35 years and resigned in 2022. We are grateful for her service to the students of Novato and Marin County and respectfully honor her in this way. Please now join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to start the meeting by asking for approval of our agenda.
Move.
Trustee Butler first, Trustee Miller second.
Yep.
All in favor? 7 plus student trustees, thank you. Okay, we're now going to move on to our presentation.
All right, good evening. I'm Dr. Tracy Smith, Superintendent. This is a very, very special evening, and we're so happy to have everybody here. We are going to start by honoring and recognizing our retirees. All right, will Amy Bondanza come on up? There she is. Amy's selfless dedication to her students and staff at Rancho will be greatly missed. Her flexibility and positive attitude make her a wonderful team player with her grade level partners as well as with the staff. Her thoughtfulness and caring permeate throughout the school as Amy takes the lead with the Sunshine Committee, sending birthday cards, sympathy cards, and planning staff parties. Note, we might still show up at your house in December and June. Congratulations, Amy. Enjoy this well-earned next stage in your life. Okay, stay there. All right, Marcia Carey. Here it says Human Resource Specialist, but I think there were several titles she's had over the years. Marcia is the perfect example of how someone can grow in their career with NUSD. From starting as an elementary playground supervisor, Marcia has served in multiple roles at a school site and then multiple roles at the district office. She was always someone that our staff felt comfortable talking with about anything. She was a consistently warm and welcoming face no matter what. The HR department was grateful for her longtime history in the district, and we are so happy for her to be enjoying more time with her family. All right, Jackie David, campus supervisor at San Jose and elementary playground supervisor at Rancho. Come on up. Is she here? Okay. Jackie has been Miss Jackie at San Jose for years and years, wearing a million hats as she kept the campus safe. Her dedication to the students and school sites has been tried and true her whole career. We thank Jackie for her dedication to working with young ones at Rancho before school as well. Jackie's consistency and support help students make good decisions. Okay, we have Yvonne East Jensen, teacher. Yvonne is caring, kind, and selfless. She holds students to high expectations and encourages them to do their best. Based on the engaging materials and activities set up in Yvonne's classroom each year, it is no wonder why her former students speak so highly of her. She spends countless hours crafting and curating her students' learning. She cares deeply about her students and Sinaloa as a whole. Novato Unified is truly losing a gem. Okay. Claude Eliasa. Claude was our longtime school bus driver. It says he is always here day after day. He is the model school bus driver, always here to do his job and to help our department. He is a man of a few words, but you always know what he is thinking. Many parents and students miss him, and all of us in transportation miss his smile and sense of humor. Good luck in your retirement.
Okay, our next retiree is Liz Feingold. Is she here? Liz is a Hamilton lifer. Her kids went to Hamilton. She was the PTA president, an instructional aide, substitute teacher, and finally, project coordinator. Liz does it all. Her passion for kids and serving their needs compels her to do so much more than what is just in her job description. So much so that others wonder, what are we going to do without her? Liz is magnetic. To know her is to love her. Her positive attitude and genuine personality bring people in and make them want to stay a while. Hamilton is a part of her home and family, and she wants it to feel like that for everyone who walks through our doors. We are so grateful for her 23 years, the 23 years that she has served at Hamilton as a colleague and a friend. Enrique Garcia, groundskeeper. Enrique's motivation and dedication as a groundskeeper is valued and does not go unnoticed. Enrique has become one of the strongest members of our grounds team. His skill set and inspiration will truly be missed. We all wish him the best as he transitions into retirement. Bernie Gomes, school bus driver. Bernie? Bernadette, or Bernie, has been an extraordinary school bus driver. She has compassion for all of her children and parents that she has transported in the many years here at NUSD. Bernie has been a very helpful tool in the transportation department, always lends a hand when we need help, and monitoring the school bus drivers that are new. We are very happy you are moving on into retirement, but we will miss you dearly. Adela Gray, TK paraeducator at Linwood. Mrs. Gray has served NUSD in many capacities during her tenure. Most recently, she worked as a paraeducator with our TK students. Her steady presence, strong work ethic, and caring presence are felt by students and families alike. Wearing many hats, Miss Gray is also an interpreter and job steward, supporting many more members of our NUSD community. We will miss her and wish her well in her retirement. Miss Cindy Griggs. Mrs. Griggs has worked at Lou Sutton for the past 23 years, with a total of 31 years in education. Her warm, kind spirit makes her well loved by our staff and students. In her most recent role as a reading intervention teacher, she has strategically built systems to support a multitude of students by collaborating with staff and families. Mrs. Griggs is always the first to lend a helping hand through providing mentorship and encouraging the staff and students. When a former student was asked to describe Miss Griggs, she said, "She is a kind teacher who made sure learning was fair and fun. She was a caring heart and always made me smile. Miss Griggs is the most genuine and kind person." Yeah.
Alma Hato, also known as Miss Gabby. Miss Gabby, as she is known here by students, has served as both a yard supervisor and office technician. Miss Gabby was loved by all students and staff for her positive and bubbly personality. Miss Gabby always loved working with students each and every day. She was always able to connect with them. We will miss her dearly and look forward to seeing her and we will look forward to seeing what's next. Roland John Pierre. Custodian at Lucerne. Roland has been a custodian at Lucerne for the last 22 years. Through most of that time, he held a second job and is so deserving of this next chapter of retirement. Mr. Roland has a heart filled with gratitude and determination. He is more than a custodian, as he has touched the lives of many people at our school. Every task he takes on is done with genuine care and warmth for our community. It is a gift to know Mr. Roland, and his calm presence will be missed at Lucerne. Mr. Roland is simply the best. Clay Jones, elementary. Clay Jones, elementary teacher at Pleasant Valley. Mr. Jones has taught for 24 years at Pleasant Valley Elementary School. Mr. Jones is always calm, cool, and collected. His students appreciate his sense of humor. Mr. Jones also coaches volleyball and enjoys bringing that to his students at PV. We will miss Mr. Jones, as he has been a core member of Team PV for a very long time. His current principal was a teacher alongside Mr. Jones and has fond memories collaborating and working alongside Mr. Jones in third grade. We look forward to seeing wherever Mr. Jones soars off to in his retirement adventures. Julia Kellogg Smith, paraeducator at Novato High. Julia has been an important part of our special education team at Novato High School, and we are sad to see her go. She is looking forward to spending time with her grandkids and her family. We wish her all the best in the next wonderful phase of life. Sarah Cram, Library Media Specialist. At Pleasant Valley. Mrs. Cram has been a core member of the Pleasant Valley team for 25 years. When you walk into the PV library, you can see the amount of love that Sarah has poured into the space. Students adore Mrs. Cram, and coming into her library is always a special time. Mrs. Cram is an avid reader herself, and her passion translates into the library space, as Sarah is always working to bring in new texts that are engaging, inclusive, and relevant. We wish Sarah the best in her retirement and look forward to seeing where her travels take her.
Mr. Steve Lamott, are you here? Okay, I'll read it. Steve's impact on students goes far beyond the classroom walls. He is always engaged in school-wide events, connecting with students, and finding ways to improve school culture. As a special day class teacher, Steve teaches every subject and every grade level. He is an expert at connecting with students and helping them find success. Steve is always the first member of the staff to reach out to new staff and welcome them to the team. His warm and humorous demeanor puts people at ease and brings people together. He truly makes the San Marin community feel like a family. Thank you, Steve. Okay, next up, Diane Lawton-Apple, para-educator at Sinaloa. Reliable, hardworking, caring, and devoted are just a few of the ways in which Ms. Apple can be described. Without her support, the job would be so much more challenging. Thank you for all that you do for the kids and for the adults in the room. Thank you. Oh, stay there. Stay there. All right, next up, Vivian Lee. Are you here? Vivian is a kind, funny, and welcoming teacher. She has been a math leader for the district, serving as a forerunner in writing the proficiency scales, for 8th grade math. She has always been there for her students and her colleagues alike. Vivian only cared about one thing, and that was doing what was right for our students. Sinaloa will not be the same without her. Thank you, Vivian. Next up, Ms. Lehman, Susan Lehman, English teacher at Novato High. Just a second here, because, sorry, I have a text that came in for you as well. All right, so anyway, Susan has been a teacher at Novato at NUSD since 2001. She taught English in various grade levels with a true passion for 11th grade. She is a role model in the English department for her leadership, but also for her support of student growth. One of her many strengths as an educator has been her dedication to student writing development and expression in all genres. Her expertise, guidance, encouragement, and heart will be greatly missed. And from one of her former students, who seconds these comments, she was the best. Of all my teachers at NHS, she was the one who challenged me the most, and therefore the one who helped me grow most as a writer and a thinker. I remember being in an English class at Brown my freshman year and feeling grateful. She pushed me so hard because I wasn't intimidated when my first professor then did the same. Thank you. I'll stay there. Steve Madsen, elementary teacher at Lou Sutton. Mr. Madsen has spent his entire teaching career, 33 years, at Lou Sutton. That's commendable. When you walk into Mr. Madsen's classroom, you feel an immediate sense of calm, coupled with an exciting learning environment for our youngest learners. He is patient, inclusive, and dedicates many hours to ensuring the best for all his students. When a former student was asked to describe Mr. Madsen, he said, "Mr. Madsen is very kind and let us play with cool things." He taught us how to solve problems and forgive each other. He never has a fixed mindset, and I respect him in every single way. Mr. Madsen is the kind of teacher every child deserves to start their educational career with. He is often known as the kindergarten whisperer. Congratulations.
Okay, so I have Irma Mannion, elementary teacher at Loma Verde. Irma is a dedicated teacher, mentor, and advocate. She is determined to provide her students the necessary skills to be successful in life. She knows that it all starts with reading and works tirelessly to support students and their families to build strong literacy habits. She connects students and parents with resources and shares her expertise as a teacher and a parent. She is an institution, and her absence at Loma Verde by many, but we know that her influence will continue on. Thank you. Hey, Todd Marsden, elementary school teacher, Hamilton. Are you here? Okay. Well, Todd has served Hamilton School for 18 years as a teacher. Todd would work tirelessly to ensure that his students were getting the most out of their education. His passion for student growth and reading propelled many students beyond their perceived capabilities. We truly hope that Todd enjoys his retirement and his next chapter. Thank you, Todd. Alma Martinez, Community Liaison, San Jose. Alma is one of the longest-standing community liaisons in all of NUSD. She has been at the core of our support for families, specifically English learners. Alma knows parents, guardians, and students like they're a part of her own personal family. She knows what they need, when they need it, and also guides families toward making transformations in their children's education and futures. Alma is an absolutely invaluable member of our team. She will be greatly missed at San Jose. Okay, Chris Martinez. Special Education Elementary Coordinator. Over the past 30 years, Chris has served NUSD as a special education teacher, general education teacher, inclusion specialist, mentor, and special education coordinator. Her contributions in each of these roles leave a legacy of positive impact across our organization. She has an unwavering commitment to the school and academic well-being of all our students, their families, and our staff. She truly embodies the essentials of an educator. We will miss her sense of humor, passion for teaching and learning, resiliency, and vast knowledge and experience. Thanks, Chris. And Jeannie Matthews, Food and Nutritional Services Purchaser. Well, Jeannie joined NUSD Food and Nutritional Services Department after a successful career in food and hospitality. She ran the San Jose kitchen, then went on to be the FANS purchaser for the past few years. The FANS department would not be where it is today without her dedication and expertise. She will be missed. Thank you.
Okay, there's more. Mary McGurk, English teacher, San Marin. Ms. McGurk has served NUSD as an English, AVID, and ELD teacher in both middle and high school. She is an advocate for students and ensures that each is truly seen and cared for in her room. Her ability to bring the best out of her students make her a model for her peers. Ms. McGurk's instructional expertise is not only effective in the classroom, but has been a guiding light for the staff and in how best to serve all students. Congratulations. Victoria Meblin, paraeducator, Novato High. Oh, gosh. Okay. Victoria was a wonderful part of our special ed department. She is happily working on a new business venture and is excited to launch into her next adventure in Northern California. We were sad to see her go and appreciate all she gave to our kids. Congratulations, Victoria. Virginia Menzel, Community Liaison, Loma Verde. Virginia is an advocate and champion for students and families. She is devoted and passionate. She works hard to build relationships with families so that they have access to knowledge and resources they need to be successful. She is equity-minded and wants to make sure all students have access and opportunities to programs and activities that support their growth. She will be missed at Loma Verde. Congratulations. Juan Navarro, custodian at Pleasant Valley. Oh, there he is. Juan has been the daytime custodian at PV for many years now. He has worked hard in helping to maintain the charm of PV. With that, Juan has truly earned his retirement. We wish Juan the best as he heads into the next chapter of life. Congratulations. Jeannie Olin, attendance technician, San Marin. Jeannie has been committed to NUSD since 2000. At San Marin, she has served students in the attendance office. Jeannie greets students and families with a smile and always offers her guidance and support. She cares deeply for the students and goes out of her way to make sure that each one has her attention when in need. Congratulations.
Lauren Pullen, elementary teacher at San Ramon. Laura has left a legacy after decades of educating the lives of San Ramon students. She is infamous for knowing her students' individual learning styles and going above and beyond to make progress in their learning. Year after year, Laura works endless hours, planning thoughtful lessons to meet the needs of her students. She always has had an especially gifted talent to teach students to read. Reading is one of her passions, and she also spread that love through her work coordinating the school's literacy volunteers so students could have one-on-one reading time. We will miss your laugh and dedication, but enjoy your next adventure. Congratulations. Shanae Renee, custodian at Novato High. Shanae has been a hard-working custodian at Novato High and continues to show his passion and dedication to his career with NUSD. We wish him the best in his retirement. Laura Rinker, paraeducator. Paraeducator at Lou Sutton. Laura has been at Lou Sutton for the past 9 years as a yard supervisor, instructional aide, and now a paraeducator in our resource classroom. Laura genuinely cares for our staff and each student she works with. She was always the first to come up with kind gestures for our team, share little gifts of gratitude, and find small ways to greatly encourage students to reach their goals. Her encouragement and support serve as a guiding light for our students as they navigate their educational journey. Laura embodies the spirit of kindness, empathy, and dedication. Congratulations. John Sanderbeck, special education teacher at San Marin. Mr. Sanderbeck has been a longtime teacher at both Marin Oaks and San Marin. He serves students in our special education program to help students navigate high school. He is an expert at building trusting relationships with student, staff, and families. Through small group and individualized instruction, John has helped hundreds of students not only find success, but thrive at San Marin. And Lena Scheip, school bus driver. Lena has had a long career as a bus driver. She was always helpful when our department needed it. We hope she enjoys her retirement and continues to shine.
The next recipient is Julie Spann. How will Pleasant Valley function without its legendary one-of-a-kind office manager? Mrs. Spann has been a PV for close to 30 years, and now she may serve other roles as parent volunteer, yard duty, and now as office manager for 17 years. Her honorary title as PV is Mama Spann, as she takes care of each person at PV as if they were her own child. Julie always brings warmth, kindness, and heart into everything she does. We are better because of Julie and her touch on PV, and will last forever. She lives across the street, so we know we won't be too far away. We hope Julie enjoys her retirement and gets lots of love and time with her grandchildren. Julie, congratulations. Pam Stutzman. Mrs. Stutzman has been a teacher for 38 years, with 34 of those years at Lou Sutton. Amazing. She even planted the redwood trees in front of the school. Mrs. Stutzman is best known for believing in the potential of each of her students, empowering them to be their best self. She developed a strong sense of community with her classroom and finds creative ways to make California history come alive with them. She motivates our staff to be innovative with our practices and has been an inspirational mentor for many new teachers. When her students asked to describe Mrs. Stutzman, she said, "She is nice and always brings new ideas to the classroom." In her classroom, I feel cared for because she genuinely wants all of us to be successful. Mrs. Stutzman is a one-of-a-kind teacher. Rob Sundberg. Yay. Whoa. Ah. So before I even start, the public access studio work that you've done and the connection in this community, from parades to community access, it's been my personal honor to serve with you. Appreciate that. Thanks. So, and now words from the district. Rob dedicated, and his family is solid Novato. This is the Novato family, as other people in this community know. Rob has dedicated over a decade of his career to Sinaloa Middle School and many more years to NUSD. Rob's commitment to providing well-rounded educational resonates with students, fostering physical health as well as creative teamwork and personal growth. He is the ultimate team player, shows us up early, staying late, and helping others. Additionally, Rob is an icon around Novato for all the good he does. He will be dearly missed, though we know he will continue to have a huge presence in our community, and we will not be far if we need a helping hand. We wish him nothing but happiness and fulfillment in his well-deserved retirement, but we're not going to let you go away. You got to continue to help. Yeah, you bet. Teresa Vance. Okay, Teresa, I don't see you. Technology support technician. Teresa's not here. Her team's here, but she's... Teresa's been an invaluable part of our district for the last 24 years, providing exceptional technical support to both staff and students. She knows for her warmth, patience, and unwavering willingness to help. Anybody who's dealt with IT knows that somebody with patience is a good thing. Teresa's knowledge, dedication to NUSD, and thoroughness have made her an essential part of our team. Her kindness and professionalism will be dearly missed as she embarks on her well-deserved retirement. And Lisa Welra, is she here? Not, so, okay. So Lisa is the heart of San Marin's office. Her humor and Mustang pride ripple throughout the school community. She knows everything that goes on every minute of every day. Lisa's Andy Boone, this is going to be, you're going to miss this person. She knows everything that is going on in every minute of every day. Lisa's ability to multitask is truly incredible to witness. It isn't uncommon to see her helping a parent on the phone while greeting a sub and finding coverage for classes. Simultaneously, she is leaving a giant shoes to fill San Marin is going to miss her greatly. Look at this, man, you and me in the same picture.
Congratulations once again to all of our retirees. We are now going to honor our staff work anniversaries.
That note I gave you, give it to me in a minute.
Where'd it go?
Oh, no.
Oops. Wrong. Sorry. One moment, please.
to the rescue. That one, yeah. I think you have to do this again, but it's a little guy right here.
Oh. Then you just advance, I guess. All right, so for 20 years of service, if we can have, if you're present, Julie Adams from Hill Education Center. Aaron Fix from Novato High School. Heather Johnstone from Loma Verde. And I know Carol Mancarelli couldn't be here this evening, unfortunately. And then Sherry Ann Reed from Loma Verde. Michael Spinrad from San Marin High School. All right, congratulations. And now for 25 years of service to Novato Unified, we have Tiffany Boulad from Olive Elementary. Dan Curtaz from Novato High School. Greg Irish from San Marin High School. Allison McIver from San Marin High School. And Vi Tucker, elementary PE. And Tracy Walker from Sinaloa Middle School. So I don't think Adela was here. So Adela Gray is 30 years of service. And Mary Posey. Is Mary here? Woo! Let me make sure I get the right. There she is. And is Jane Vitarello here from Pleasant Valley? All right. And we recognized her before, but Diane Lawton Apple, congratulations. Okay, hold on.
The only one.
35 years. And with 40 years of service, Miss Jan Miller, if you are in the room. No. 40 years. Jan is at Olive Elementary, so any of you that go to Olive, congratulate Jan. All right, thank you so much.
Okay, every year we have the honor of working with our student board members, and Jonathan is here today. He is standing in for Francesca, so I'm assuming it's okay if I give her a certificate to you. This is your first time here. Yeah, thank you so much. We're really glad you're here. So I'm going to say their names, but I think I'll go through all of them, and then I'm going to come back to the two of you. So we have Adriana Avina, who was with us from Marin Oaks in the first part of the year. We have also not present, we have Samantha Robbins from Novato High School. And from San Marin, we have Paige Brumley and Jessie Roll. Yes, clap. Yay. And then Daphne Worth, we are going to have a certificate for you. Thank you so much. Come on up. And then Francesca Kaye Lebeau or Jonathan Towns, come on up. Oh, yeah, come up and take a picture.
Okay, could we please have Kate McNear of School Fuel and any other School Fuel representatives?
Thank you. I'm Kate McNear, and I'm president of School Fuel. This is Tamara Ressler. She's one of our board members. And we'd like to thank everybody who participated in Tour Novato this year. We raised over $73,000 for our schools, and we had a really lovely community event, big community fair. Lots of people came out, lots of students, lots of community organizations, student performers and artists. It was a wonderful day. And now we would like to draw a winner of our bicycle. Oh, yeah. Then you can read it, maybe. Okay. Okay. So for those who raised funds for their schools, they got a slip for each $100 that they raised, and the winner will receive a new bicycle from Mike's Bikes, and they can choose an adult bike or a child-sized bike. So I wonder if this person would like to help.
Dr. Tracy Smith. Jorik de Guzman.
Oh, great. All right. Thank you very much. Yay.
Okay, might we have Michelle Smith and Tyler Peterson, to the podium for our student athletes.
Stay right here. Hello. Thanks for having us. My name's Michelle Smith.
Tyler Peterson, San Marin.
We are the athletic directors at the high schools, and we are here to introduce our Marin Athletic Foundation Outstanding Student Athletes for this year. So the Novato Highs is Jacqueline Marola and Nick McCauley. So if you guys can go out there.
And from San Marin, we have Vaughn Miguel.
Emma Rogers couldn't be with us tonight. She is currently getting her firefighter's credentials, so she's busy.
Just to give you a little background of what the Outstanding Student Athlete Award is, it is a person, a student athlete at each high school that represents you in sportsmanship, athletics, community service, and school involvement. So that is, thank you to these 4 athletes.
We will now be celebrating all of our honorees with cupcakes in the lobby. Please join us there. Our meeting will continue after a break. we need Greg. Oh, we did? Okay, we are back to our meeting. We're going to have announcements of reportable action from closed session from Trustee Lametta.
The board met in closed session on the following items. Employee appointment, Principal San Marin High School gave direction. Employee appointment, Director of PK through 8 Educational Services gave direction.
Thank you. I'm now going to ask for any items from the consent agenda that anyone would like to pull.
I'll move to approve it.
Okay, we've got Trustee Mack with first and a second by Trustee Pickus. All in favor? 7 plus our student trustees. Thank you. Okay, we're now going to have announcements from the board. I'm going to start with a quick announcement before we go to student trustees. On behalf of the board, I would like to express that we are deeply saddened by the events at Sinaloa Middle School. Safety from all of our students is a top priority, as well as creating a happy and healthy learning environment. We thank our community members we have heard from, and we are looking forward to hearing from any voices we have not yet heard. Your input really helps us. We see a huge opportunity here to rethink some of our on and off-campus approaches and practices, and we're looking forward to engaging in this work immediately. Thank you. Student trustees.
Okay. Hello. So I'm Daphne from Marin Oaks. This is my last day here. I'm winging the last week of school, so I'm going to wing this as well. Don't have my notes. So we had a lot going on. We have next week, we have our finals, and then we're out. We have our Mental Health Awareness Day on Friday. A few weeks ago, I talked about it. Basically, we're trying to show ways that you can take care of your mental health. That's not just kind of like someone giving you a presentation. It's more activities and giving you ideas. So we have gardening, we have these little stress toys we're gonna make, we have tie-dye shirts, we have sports. We're gonna have all kinds of things that are very helpful with mental health, and we're very excited. Just recently we had an awards night where multiple students got awards for different things, such as Principal's Choice and an award from leadership or an award from science. Teachers chose students to give awards to. And yeah, we have our finals next week. We just had prom. We didn't have prom at ours. There was Novato High and San Marin's prom, but we got to go to their prom, and I went. Very fun. And yeah, so that's like pretty much it, because we're coming to a close. I'm sad to leave, but I want to thank everyone for the opportunity having me here. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed you guys. Kind of became like a little family to me. So thank you. Marin Oaks out.
Good evening. I'm Jonathan. I'm with Novato High, subbing for Francesca today. So we've had a ton going on recently. We've had a bunch of MSA events, including soirees, theater showcases, rock band, music concerts. There's actually a dance concert happening tonight at 7 p.m. and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Go support if you can. We also have really big film festival. Then the athletic information night recently was a huge success, Every sport was represented by coaches and current players. I want to quickly shout out our juniors, especially in leadership. They've been doing an incredible job with unique fundraisers. Last week, they did a fundraiser called Splash a Junior, where you could pay $5 to get a bucket of water to splash someone with. It was a huge hit. We're hoping to do it again next year. They also sold Kiss a Senior Goodbye Grams, where people buy a card, write a personalized message, and then leadership attaches Hershey Kisses. And we are delivering those this week. Last week was our last Spirit Week and rally. It was a huge success. We brought back our end of the year video. And then this past Saturday, we had prom, which was absolutely incredible. It was at the Galleria in San Francisco Design Center. Super fun. Strongly recommend to anyone who may be watching the live stream. If you can, go next year. For June, yesterday, our GSA club did a pride flag raising at lunch. Today, yearbooks were distributed to everyone except for seniors who got them last week. Super appreciative of the adults and 2 students who helped to put it together. We have finals next week. This week is finals for seniors. And then next week we have a bunch of senior activities, senior breakfast, a movie day, and then graduation on Friday. Thank you.
Wonderful. I had the opportunity to attend Marin Oaks award ceremony, and it's always exciting to watch people who have spent their last 4 years trying to maybe put something together that was broken when they started and get their feet back underneath them and have a path forward. And it's just amazing. And I had my good friend Mrs. Hackinson organize it again, always, and so I got to see her again. So this was a pleasure, and I believe we have the pride flag flying in front of the school district office today. So thank you very much.
I had the opportunity with many of us to attend the Marin County School Board Association gathering. There's a gathering every year. It's a great opportunity for board members to come together from across the county and share ideas, and we were lucky to have Assemblyman Damon Conley there to talk to us about what's happening in the state legislature. And I also was able to, at Linwood last Friday night, the ELAC committee put on a wonderful dance evening festivities, so I wanted to give that ELAC committee a shout out. I don't know how to say shout out in Spanish. Muchas gracias. But is there another? I'm learning. Voy a practicar.
No announcements.
So I was so excited for all the celebrations and all those sad at my PV friends that are retiring and excited for them. I forgot I usually have stuff written out, and so I just went through my calendar and I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder. I feel like it's just a marathon month where we've got so many things going on. So I'm just gonna cover a couple little things. One was I attended along with Trustee Butler the Capital Advisors budget summary, which was up at Sonoma County Office of Ed. It was very informative and helpful. That's always a good thing to attend. I absolutely loved going to the reclassification ceremony that was held at Novato High School. Fabulous job done. I don't know, Ellen is still over there. It was so cool. The place was packed. Everyone was excited. It was just a really wonderful event, and was so happy to be there. And then I kind of looked at my calendar and realized I was also monitoring jumpy houses at Hamilton School last week. So that was another thing. I've been getting it onto different campuses to try to help with their year-end celebrations, because I know it's the end of the year, hard to get volunteers sometimes. So that means I will be at Pleasant Valley at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow, setting up for field day. But it's all fun. Love seeing the kids out there. I had a friend actually mention it's so wonderful that we're back to normal, because our kids a couple years ago weren't able to do this. So it's fun to see them having a good time and head into the summer.
Had the privilege to facilitate a meeting with the Marin County Office of Education, John Lenz, MCAL, Marin County Athletic League Commissioner Susie, I always forget her last name, Annie Woolard, and Tracy, to talk about middle school athletics and to start looking into the concept of extending MCAL to include the middle schools. To keep our kids busy, to give them the opportunities to learn sports early rather than getting to high school and finding out they can't play because they haven't been doing it, which is a major privilege issue we have to work on. Anyway, great meeting. We have a lot of progress, and we'll have a lot more progress this summer when the MCOE commissions a study, and we'll see where we can go. A side note, at home, I have a picture of Ms. Pat Warren handing me a diploma. Wow. So I want to say, so there's a few of us in this room. So I want to acknowledge her role going all the way back to the second picture on that wall. That's quite a history with our district. Anyway, thank you.
No report.
I was lucky enough to enjoy some of the things that have already been mentioned, as well as a Rotary lunch honoring teachers from all of our different sites and site visits at San Jose Middle School and Marin Oaks.
Okay, happy Pride Month. Super excited, like everyone at this table. Excited for all of the end of the year activities. Never ending, but so much fun. A special one, an extra special one today was Leslie and I went over to Marin Oaks and got to help ribbon cut the all their murals that they did this year. They're just beautiful. So congratulations to them. All right. In our closed session, we appointed 2 new administrators to our district, and we'd like to introduce them. So welcome back to Andy Boone. Come on up. Yeah, stand right here. Yeah, it's awkward. You got to just stand there. Yeah. Andy will be the next principal of San Marin High School beginning on July 1st, 2024, even though I've heard word of him spending time already with us, which we're thrilled. Andy began his career in education as a social science teacher and assistant principal at Novato High School, and then an assistant principal at Hall Middle School. He left education and founded and operated 2 health and wellness businesses and established Equip, a nonprofit dedicated to teaching basic health and wellness knowledge to at-risk youth and families. Andy also worked with the Marin County Office of Education to lead health and wellness programs across 18 school districts. His work included consulting on health programs and facilitating a listening campaign to improve the proficiency-based education program. He is recognized for his heart-centered approach, humility, and advocacy for all individuals. His extensive experience, dedication to student success, and innovative mindset make him the ideal next leader for San Marin High School. Welcome. All right. Okay. Welcome back to Lindsay Brodom as the Director of PK through 8th Educational Services, also beginning July 1st, 2024. They are just introducing themselves. There we go. So Lindsay has served as the principal of Thomas Page Academy in the Cotati-Rohnert Park Unified School District since 2020. She has been instrumental in implementing professional learning community systems and guiding successful federal programming monitoring for Title I and English learner programs. Her leadership led to a significant decrease in suspension rates and an improvement in school climate and student achievement. Lindsay is also recognized for her skills in coaching educators, data analysis, and innovating school culture. She has been awarded the SELPA, which stands for as a special education local program. It's called the Spirit of Education Award for her work in creating a co-taught transitional kindergarten program and led her previous school to achieve Blue status on the California dashboard for English learner progress. Her extensive experience and commitment to student success align perfectly with her with our district's vision and goals. We are confident that she will make a significant impact on our educational programs. So welcome to you both. Okay.
Okay, we have some non-agenda public comments. Looks like we've got one more. Okay. First we have David Hernandez, and second will be Elizabeth Sleeth. Sorry if I got that wrong. For a non-agenda public comment, you have 3 minutes. Unfortunately, we cannot comment or respond to your comments, but we really appreciate that you're here. So please go ahead.
Four trustees are going to be up for re-election in November. The public needs to know how this board controls school funds and how it views accountability, especially in deflecting safety issues. Trustees can chuckle when Milrick dismisses public comment and is looking over our shoulders to see how money is spent. At the December 13, 2022 meeting, a Latino mother gave testimony of bullying and assaults without any follow-up contact with the parent. More Latino mothers bravely came forward on March 5th and April 2nd of this year to plead for the district to do something to save their children. The board's excuse for no responses is that privacy concerns prevent them from addressing. But the parents of victims came forward publicly. Why can't this board? Dr. Muhammad declared in his equity audit presentation that many recommendations from his equity audit of 2021 have not been implemented. So no, the excuse of privacy does not hold. Education code requires schools have an anti-bullying policy that includes a timeline when investigating bullying. This board must explain why the recent incident at Sinaloa resulted in quick arrests and media coverage when more serious incidents involving Latino kids got little interest and forced parents to come to a board meeting to seek action after weeks and months of no response. The new CFO in his presentation of 2022-23 unaudited actuals declared people responsible for budgets don't know what their budget is. Grant money coming in left and right, people don't know how to use it. He also said he had easily found position control errors in the budget process, which led to a $6 million error for the 2023-24 budget. But the independent audit, quote unquote, for 2022-23 found no such issues, saying, quote, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control over compliance that we considered to be material. No deficiencies in internal control. Really? What could explain this gross misstatement of the financial process and controls in place during the audit period? Maybe the grand jury will actually examine this. Several special education teachers, parents, and staff members have come forward to describe the lack of equity and lack of needed resources. Again, no response, no action. The question needs to be asked and answered, where are funds allocated for special education and NUSD spent? Proper oversight is required. The 21-22 parcel tax detail report shows actual spending not as described in voter materials. Voter text says protecting music, arts, and athletic programs for all Novato kids. But athletic funds went only to the whole high schools, $585,740. The parcel tax FAQ said increased counseling services for all schools, but $0 went to elementary schools. At the June 6, 2023 meeting, a Loma Verde parent described a year-long gas fumes problem that prevented universal meals from being prepared. Why was the headquarters AC project a higher priority, he asked. The board reaction, as we've come to expect, was to dismiss the comments as misinformation. Trustees then claimed they have no knowledge of this gas flow problem. The headquarters AC project was hidden as a consent item at the April 4, 23 meeting and became a $400,000 project. And have a look at the almost comical fiasco that is the plan to relocate Novato Charter School.
Thank you, David.
More wasted money. Oh, that's interesting.
After Elizabeth, we have Martin.
Can we lower it a bit?
Probably.
I've only got two hands.
No worries.
Okay, my name's Elizabeth Sleeth and I've had two daughters graduate from Novato High School. I was Dean of Students at the Branson School for many years and any disciplinary incident came to my desk. Yes, kids are kids, private or public school. I'll preface my remarks by saying that the only information I have on the Sinaloa incident or any other incident in the district is what I've read in the newspapers and what I've seen around town. But I think the main issues are exposed in those newspaper reports. Bullying or attacking another student or students, the mob mentality of following and seeking out, the watching and videoing of the attack are absolutely not acceptable behavior and should be addressed immediately and severely. There is absolutely no place in our schools or our society for violent mob behavior, for verbal abuse, silent insolence, or bullying, that insidious, cowardly behavior. This is a huge moment for the district. Students, youngsters have been caught in the act of physical violence. There's no doubt as to what happened. I don't know the reasons behind the attack, but the issue is that it did happen, and it happened during the school day on one of our campuses. This is a serious moment. It's a shameful moment, but it's also a moment the district can use to make absolutely sure everyone in the district, students, parents, teachers, grandparents, staff, administrators, and coaches understand that this behavior will not be tolerated and there will be consequences that will affect the student and the family and the school. Students and all the folk I just listed, plus every citizen of Novato, with or without children, need to know that this district is strong, that it has been shocked by this incident and that has galvanized them to strong, decisive action. Bullying, verbal or physical, or any sort of violence is serious, and when found out, it will have serious consequences for the students and the students' families. This can and should be a teaching moment, a moment to grab the attention of the students and the students' family, to, if necessary, shock the students out of complacent attitudes of thought and thoughtless behavior, to make them think what they're doing and make them realize actions do have consequences. Consequences like missing vital games which might lead to the loss of a championship, not walking at graduation ceremonies, missing prom night, missing field trips, even a change of school. Attacking another student or any other person is not how we should be behaving, and these kids need to know that. No equivocating, no excuses, no argument. This is not civilized behavior. These kids are perhaps 13 or 14 years old, I don't know, but this sort of physical behavior done in, say, 4 or 5 years could land them in jail. That's a sobering thought. Your child, your student, could be in jail. However, we're still
Thank
talking...
you, Elizabeth.
I'll just finish the sentence. Okay?
Finish the sentence.
However, we're still talking kids here, and kids can and will learn if they're given strong guidelines and support from home, from society, from teachers and administrators, and we're all involved in this, and we all need to work on it. And the staff and the faculty and all
Elizabeth,
these people
thank you.
need to have the board behind them. And
I'm
know
sorry, I
that
didn't
they've
let the
got
last
that
speaker
board
continue.
behind
If you
them.
could please respect the rules. Thank you. Fair. We have Libby Silvestri.
Hi, I'm here tonight. Here, let me fix this. Yeah. I'm here tonight to kind of shed some light on a situation that's happening at Lou Sutton. As you know, Lou Sutton's been through a lot. We just, within the last month and a half, we just found out we're going to lose our principal, who has been amazing. I mean, we can go back. I've been there way, way too long. And I'm there because I love the underdog. I really am there to fight the good fight because I love the people that I work with and I love the kids and the families that I serve as an educator. But something has come up around our music program whereby I think there's something happening. There's some sort of task force. There's a music task force that has got some plans for the music room. It hasn't really been made clear, one, who is on the task force. The representatives have come out to speak for the task force, but what I do know is that the music teacher who teaches 75% of the children who are in that room was never consulted. I mean, we're all about collaboration here. That's one of our C's, right? And communication, that's another one of our C's. Neither one of those was honored. Miss Mary Jean de Benedict is our beautiful, wonderful, so hardworking, so dedicated music teacher who is a classically trained pianist, but she's on that piano, this piano that's in there. It's a baby grand. It's like one of those things that you want in a music program. You look for them. Somehow she's got a connection. She's got some tuner who's got a rich family who can't get rid of this nice, beautiful piano. Boom, Lou Sutton has a little baby grand. We measured it. It's 5 by 5. This task force says it's too big, we need it out. You can move in that other upright piano that's in the multi-purpose room and use that one if you want. We're looking at that going, number one, it's not that big. That room is bigger than my first apartment. It's huge in there. She does maple, she does, Virginia reels in there. She does, there's a lot of room in there. There are drums, there are Orff instruments, there's all kinds of room. But they're fixated, whoever they are, and I still don't know. So that's one question I want to ask. And what are they going to do with the extra 15 square feet that's going to be gained if they go by, if they switch out pianos? There's something weird happening that it's like one of those decisions that's made, you don't know, you're not sure why, but we need somebody else to look at this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silvestri. And last, we have Ms. Mary Jean.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Jean de Benedict and have taught elementary music for almost 20 years in this district. I play different instruments, but my primary instrument is the piano. My last teacher was Anna Maria McCarthy from the San Francisco Conservatory. I have 2 beautiful baby grands in the Rancho and Lou Sutton music classrooms, which I am constantly using to teach music. It took me years to find these pianos because I wanted the best for our students. The students love responding to the sound of the piano when we sing, dance, or play instruments. I have now been told to get them out of the rooms because the music task force said they need space. We took a survey and 100% of the boys and girls agreed that they wanted to keep their piano. Why are we getting rid of high-quality instruments when we are striving to promote a strong music program? Don't you think these students deserve the best that we can offer in music? Mi nombre es Mary Jean de Benedict y he enseñado música en primaria por 20 años. Soy pianista y la última maestra que tuve fue Anna Maria McCarthy, profesora en el Conservatorio de San Francisco. Tengo 2 pianos que son baby grand, no muy grandes, en los cuartos de música en Rancho y Lou Sutton. Tomé muchos años buscando estos instrumentos porque quise lo mejor para nuestros estudiantes. Me dijeron the task force que los tengo que sacar de los cuartos y todos me dicen ¿por qué? Hablo con los estudiantes y 100% que no quieren perder su piano. ¿Por qué vamos a perder esos instrumentos? ¿Qué no piensan que los estudiantes merecen lo mejor? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mary Jean. We'll now move on to item 14A, Staff Report, Athletic Director's Annual Report.
Good evening. I get to introduce you guys. So super exciting. Just good evening, members of the board and student trustees and Dr. Smith. It was about almost a year ago that Dr. Derby was at the table and said, we have a great idea and some fun stuff for you guys to do in the future. We're gonna have an athletic task force. I wasn't even employed by the district yet, and I knew I was gonna be working on a task force, so very exciting stuff. And wanted to recognize both Michelle Smith and Tyler Peterson for their hard work this year. I want to thank Ellen, who I can't see if she's behind there. There you are. Thank you, Ellen, for establishing an incredible task force this year. And our San Marin and Novato High principals, Liz and Jen, for being part of a great team. And so this year we came together, and thank you to Josh as well. I didn't forget you, Josh. Don't worry, Josh, coming to collaborate with us to really try and hash out some of the concerns that we had surrounding athletics. And we look forward to continuing the task force in the future. It's been a great opportunity for us to discuss current issues that are coming. If we're having challenges or wonderful things we get to celebrate, it's a wonderful opportunity for everybody to get together. So without further ado, Tyler and Michelle, please take away our exciting presentation. I'm going to put it up for you. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Just excited to talk. There you go. And slide. There you guys go.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for having us. We're excited to go through our report and go through all the success of both of our schools. So we do offer a lot of great sports at our schools. We've both added flag football. We added it this year. Novato will be adding it next year, and so both teams will be competing in that. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think what's great about our seasons of sport is NCS always works on one sport a year, one sport every couple of years to get state championships. And I know he'll talk about his baseball team that made it to NorCal's, but they're working on more and more sports getting to that level. So hopefully we will see that going forward. And flag football, only in its second year next year, will have an NCS championship, which is surprising that it happened so fast, but so many schools are starting it. Makes it exciting.
Yeah. So participation-wise, very similar to last year, with the exception of adding one team for us in the fall. But across the board, a lot of great numbers, and we look forward to even more next year.
Yeah, and as you can see, I know that a question comes up every year that Novato has lower number of athletes. But if you take away football and baseball, those are the ones. Baseball has a freshman team, and football has a freshman team at San Marin. We're almost even. So those are the two sports where they have extra teams and we don't. But we are increasing every year, and that's what we want to see. So that's exciting.
For San Marin registrations, again, the same numbers for total athletes. Across the board, we're really happy with how the kids did as student athletes first. All of our teams across the board for fall and spring managed to get 3.0 GPAs as a team. And I wanted to highlight our winter sports. For girls basketball, they were the top Division III Scholastic Award winner. I think they had a combined 3.84 was their combined GPA. And then for scholar athletes with 3.5 or above, as you can see, excelling in that as well. So we're really excited and happy for them.
The same for Novato. We were very successful in the scholastic area for all the sports. And you can see our boys basketball team won the Division III North Coast Section Scholastic Award this year as well. And then what you see up there is also only varsity sports. North Coast Section only honors the varsity. The lower levels are not given any awards, so that's what you see up there. This slide shows what our athletic trainers are doing on a daily basis and throughout the year. You can see the number of concussions that each school has, the athletic injuries that we have, when we call 911, and how many approximate kids they see daily. And I know they go out to every practice, but these are kids that might have had an injury, coming back, having therapy, that they're dealing with every day. So that is our trainers report.
And I do want to highlight here the importance of our trainers. We're going to probably get back, repeat that as well. But clearly these numbers show that our trainers are paramount to our team's success. So. Athletic achievements, we're excited. There's a lot. Flag football, like we said earlier, first ever flag football team. Great season. We're excited for next year. Football, we are the last MCAL champions possible. Going into next year, we have a new league that we'll be in, and NCS finalists this year. Cheer got second place in the USA Cheer competition down in LA. Girls tennis, for the first time in a long time, made the MCAL playoffs and competed, and had one girl competing in the MCAL individuals. Girls volleyball made NCS playoffs. Boys and girls basketball both made MCAL playoffs and NCS playoffs. And like we said, the girls had that highest team GPA. Wrestling, 10 competed in NCS and 1 girl in CIF state level. Boys and girls soccer both had NCS playoff games. Baseball made MCAL championships, NCS champions, I should say, and competed in the NorCal regionals against St. Ignatius last week. Softball won their MCAL playoff game and made it to a quarterfinal for NCS. Girls lacrosse won NCS championship. I think they were here last week getting honored, which is great. Boys lacrosse made their first NCS game in school history. Swimming, 5 advanced NCS. Track and field, 19 competed for NCS, which is a huge, I think we had 5 last year, so we're only getting better. And 3 student athletes signed on for Division I college athletics.
Yeah, over at Novato, we are very proud of our athletes this year. They did not only succeed on the field, but in the classroom. And so what you see up here is a lot of the same, but just a little different. Same sports, it seems like. Baseball, we qualified for MCAL playoffs and went to the North Coast section quarterfinals. And it's more impressive to know that at one part of our season, we couldn't even put 9 players together because we had so many injuries and sicknesses. So to make it that far was pretty amazing. Girls basketball, for us, first MCAL win in 5 years. So we are on our way up and was 1 game away from NCS, so that was impressive. Cheer and dance, you hear this a lot. They won another regional and national title. I think it's 6 years running. Boys lacrosse qualified for the quarterfinals in North Coast playoffs. Girls lacrosse, same thing. They're in Division I. A few years ago, they were ranked number 1 in the state and 8th in the nation. We bidded up to Division I. And we haven't been back to the playoffs since because we bid up to Division I. It's really difficult, but NCS doesn't let you bid down. So my girls lacrosse are fighting really hard to get to those playoffs. We had a girls golf and boys golf qualifier, Haley Passetti for the girls and Sam Ojeda for the boys. Boys soccer qualified for the MCAL playoffs and made NCS playoffs. Swimming and track, we had a lot of individual athletes qualify for the MCALs. Went on to North Coast sections, and then we also had a cross country and track make it all the way to state and the meet of champions. Boys water polo, North Coast section. Our wrestling team won the MCAL for the 3rd time in 3 years. And then it's interesting that our college-bound students, when you have a national signing day, there's 2 a year, November and February. We honored our athletes. We had 4 at the time. Now we have 9 going to play sports at the next level, whether it's a JC, or college, and these are some of the schools that both San Marin and Novato athletes are going to be attending and participating in sports next year.
So we have our task force, like Julie said. We, as our goals from this year have been to create processes and procedures, align practices, and determine our budget and funding sources, which we went over a lot last year. Successes from this year, we solidified that budget pretty early on in the year. Developed a process for allowing students to drive to athletic events of all kinds, practices or games, which I think is coming up later in the show.
Yeah, that, I know I go both ways with that. It always makes me nervous that students are drivers, but at the same time, the amount of struggles you have during the week at 1:30 in the afternoon, having these parents come off work to drive is really difficult. So having that as an option for parents to allow their kids to drive themselves is going to be huge for us, especially with these new leagues and stuff. So I also want to thank the athletic task force. Miss Derby probably put it together because I had 100 questions a year, and she's like, streamline those, have somebody take those. So it has been wonderful to just bounce ideas off of and to have Josh and Julie there every day. And same with Ellen. It's so helpful because their knowledge across our district and others has been really big.
Yeah. And to that point, the next point is developed a process for requesting replacement equipment due to facility rental issues. I was going to get into the replacement stuff for our sports, not necessarily rentals, but Josh has been really paramount in helping us. Of the questions that she's had are, what does the district pay for? What do our schools pay for? And the safety equipment has been one that's kind of come up a lot. So for example, recently, Josh has allowed me to send him our bill for our new wall mats, which are completely about safety in the gym, so the kids don't run into those, amongst the helmets that are obviously a need every year and get redone.
Just to give you an idea of what we're looking for next year, trying to find coaches these days is very difficult. One being the time. You put in a lot of time during the season. You have to leave work early, so people with real jobs, it makes it really, really hard, as they call it, real jobs. But and then on top of it, it is you get paid pennies. I mean, it's not a full-time job, so you have to have another career in order to do it. And for some, that's a lot of time away from your family. So these are the positions open for both San Marin and Novato.
Yeah. We will say we're really thankful to the NFTs for upping the base salary, I guess it is, for the varsity level. Just as get those coaches coming to us. So
yeah, actually, we have that on the next slide. We negotiate with NFT for our coaches' salaries, and the varsity coaches, for some reason, some were at 6%, some were at 9%. Now they're all the same because they are putting in the same amount of time. And it was interesting because my swim coach has 50 swimmers, and she was getting paid the least, which is crazy, especially because the safety around a pool.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that.
Coming in 2024 or 2025, we have our emergency action plan that has been told by NCS that we need to have. Both of our athletic trainers have something in place that we're going to pretty much put out to our athletic departments across the board.
This is interesting because from the state office, it has been designated that we have to have one, and we have to have a drill for every single one of our sports in an emergency situation. So we're going to figure out what the best plan is to have those drills for each of those sports. The same thing as the wet bulb temperature. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's a little thing that goes on the field. It tells you what the temp, the wind, and the humidity is, and if it's safe enough for your athletes to participate in a certain level, they have to stop playing, take off equipment, have a water break every 4 minutes. So depending on where that temperature is our trainers will be pulling the athletes off. And then on top of that, the state also came up with an acclimation period. You're not allowed to have a game or contest within the first 5 days of practice. You have to have 5 days of practice before you can compete to make sure they are ready to go.
Yeah. That used to be just for football, I believe, and now it's for all fall sports going into the school year.
Yeah. And then obviously new for us is flag football at Novato next year.
Outreach for 2024. Increased middle school communications, as we spoke about earlier. We'd love to see that. We always want our kids playing and growing up with the sport that they're going to do, and then coming to our school ready to go.
Yeah, and I think poor Leslie Benjamin, she gets knocked from high schools with every camp, every clinic, separate from everything. And so we're going to try and streamline it into one flyer where the principal sends 2 out, one in the fall, one in the spring, to the middle schools to help it. And then in my case, and it might have been Tyler's, is I was told to use the community liaisons going forward for information night because we're missing a big group of people that aren't attending. And even if you're sending it to the principals or the office managers, sometimes it's better to include the community liaison because they have that connection already. So we will do that next year.
Yeah, same for us.
Just the acronyms in case you don't know what they are. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yes.
I'm trying to flip back to the first page to look at your participation rates. Have you seen growth year over year? Are you seeing higher percentage rates? Maybe not more kids, but a bigger percentage of the student body as opposed to just two sport or 3 sport students?
In my case, I'm not saying an increase in numbers of athletes.
Okay.
I actually dropped this year in number of athletes, but more kids played multiple sports for me.
Yeah, I'd say for us it was pretty similar across the board. Like we said, we added flag football, and I thought that would hurt some numbers for fall because fall is a really girls-heavy season because there's a lot of just girls-specific ones. Mm-hmm. But luckily, those other sports still had plenty of numbers, and we were lucky to have that. So we're hoping that carries through.
Okay. So another question, but you can answer later. I'm interested in the discussion about middle school sports and how you think that'll affect overall student population, but I think there's probably some other specific questions.
Bring them on.
Yeah. I'm excited about it, but I'm interested in your view. So, thank you.
Yeah, I think Ross brought up a good point about this slide. Then this kind of goes back, Leslie, if you remember when we first started the surveys, and we've iterated to get it better and better. And I think there might be something here that maybe we, instead of just a table, we show trends over time. Maybe it's an area chart, a stacked area chart that just shows each of the sports and just how they're going year over year. And they might be really boring. They might just be flat. But if there's something going on, you'll see, a pocket of something just grew, or a new sport popped up. And it just might be nice to have some sort of a visual representation of that. And then I'm happy to help with ideas, but I think it would be helpful, to Ross's point, to show trends in terms of where the growth is and those sort of things. And then on the injury side, I just noticed there's a pretty big disparity between the two schools. Anything anecdotal, or is there anything just that's really driving that? Besides the population sizes.
I know in my case, and Brendan might be the same when he put the numbers in, is any case a kid missed a practice. That number is up there under injuries. The concussions, don't worry, it was not all Novato driven. Some of them were club kids coming to Mike for an evaluation. So we included those as well, because they're all concussions that ended up affecting our athletes later. So they were not all happening under our sports, but they happened and he diagnosed them, and so he included those. Yeah. But I think your numbers were included?
Our numbers were included as well. The one thing that I did notice when we did swap out last year's numbers to this year's numbers, I think across the board, with concussions-wise, the numbers were down considerably for both. So that is great to see. The technology that's out there now, that we both have these new, for example, football in particular, have new helmets that are keeping them safer and show tracking, which is really cool, so that our trainers can kind of keep an eye on those specific kids and make sure that they need to be out or in, or that's been really helpful as well in limiting those numbers. So.
And I will speak for Mike as a trainer. He's so good, and kids are sometimes not very expressive when they explain their injury. So he's on the cautious side, especially when these kids are pulling themselves out and he can't figure out what it is. He wants to make sure he can take care of it. So I think some kids are pulling themselves out, not understanding if it's just soreness. And so I think you see that increase as well.
Yeah. And just one last question. Now that we have all these facilities, they're all built out, and just wondering, are you seeing or have any concerns with outside groups using the facilities? Are you seeing any impacts that affect your programs, or is everything working out okay so far?
Well, from a financial standpoint, it's been very difficult until this year when Josh has had opened a conversation about some of the rental fees can go back. But we rent our field every Saturday and Sunday for soccer, and that's all year round, and sometimes on the weeknights. So our soccer goals and our soccer nets just get torn up every single time. And so every year my soccer coach is raising money to replace those and replace the soccer goals and so on and so forth. Same with lacrosse. Lacrosse rents it out every fall, every spring. My lacrosse goals and my lacrosse nets. All those has been things that we've had to fund for, and now he is working with us to see what we need to do, and then what the district can do, and some of those rental fees can work it out.
Yeah. And I'll speak to that as well. For all the rentals that we do have on our fields, it's less lacrosse and whatever. It's more baseball, gets a lot of use. Our football field gets a ton of use. But having Josh and Tony work together on having Field Turf, which is the company that makes all of our turf and all of our fields, having them come out monthly rather than, I think it used to be every 6 months, has been really helpful. And then if there's specific needs, we send it to them and they get it done. But that's been really helpful in keeping our turf fresh and working well for all of our students year round. So that's been helpful.
And just to answer your question earlier about the registration, the participation, I can speak for him because I've been here 4 years, and in soccer, we've made a major increase, both of our schools. In football, for the first time in 4 years, I don't have to worry about numbers this fall. Don't have to beg people to play. And baseball, we've had a JV team for the first time in 3 years. So those are three that stand out. However, we are losing golfers on the girls' side, gaining golfers on the boys. Yeah, girls, but gaining on the boys' side. So, and then we're almost losing our lacrosse program, which is very interesting. So things change a lot, but we can do those numbers so you can see it easier.
Thank you. It's glad to hear that the task force has paid off. It was something that was severely needed because there was so much. You'd come up here every year and you're like, I need this, I need that. And so it sounds like you're dialed in, and something we need to continue to do is hold a task force. So maybe it just becomes a committee of some sort, athletic committee. You guys, I'm curious about the gate fees. The gate, is that in your school site income source?
That is our ASB. It goes
Okay,
through
that goes-
ASB into our athletics department, or fund of the ASB.
Okay. And then neither of you kind of talked about there was some groundskeepers that were hired. Is that really the case? Groundskeepers that were hired or not? It says right here in the groundskeepers were hired, and also custodians were hired to help with some of the upkeep of the rental of the facilities.
If
Maybe Josh can speak.
I haven't noticed a difference, if that's what you mean. I don't know the jobs that they're doing. He can speak to
We've
it.
gotten less calls on the weekends.
Well, that's because we switched the phone numbers away from
Exactly,
your
yeah.
guys'
Thank
phone
you.
numbers.
Thank you.
So the custodians is a brand new thing because not only did we come and actually, want to do that, then we had to go out and hire someone, and we've actually just done that within the last, I want to say it was 3, maybe it's been a month now, 3 weeks to a month. That is to clean the facilities rentals. Where it was mostly our gyms and the performing arts centers were our big problems.
Yeah.
The grounds is not a ton on their sites, actually. Well, you have the big grass field, but it was more for our grass fields. So with their new turf fields, right? That was the turf company that
It's
we're
field
utilizing
turf coming in, yeah.
to
Yeah.
take care of that. The grounds folks were for mostly our elementary and middle school. Well, now the middle school's got the good stuff too now. But to take care of those, because of course when I first came in, that was the big issue was our fields, right? So
Yeah. All right, thank you. And I tend to go look at the past 2 years to compare the numbers. So, I mean, I think you guys I think for athletes, Novato High, you went up for the number of athletes each fall, spring, and winter. And I think Samron was about the same. And your Scholastic 3.5, both of you went up considerably, I thought. So over the last 2 years. So great job. Thank you.
So I would like to talk a little bit about middle school, unless there's other questions first. Have you guys got any thoughts or plans I think everybody in this room is thinking about what that program might be.
Well, I know that I would love to see middle school athletics. We can't take it on.
Yeah.
It is way too much to take on middle school athletics. So it'd be somebody else that would have to head that up. I know we spoke about it at our athletic directors meeting with all of the MCAL ADs, and I think everybody would like to see it. Southern Marin has a couple leagues already going in basketball, track, and was it volleyball? And so to connect the Novato schools to open that up would be incredible. And I think that would help us at the high school level with the number of athletes that would participate.
I'll tell you that some schools are doing golf, so maybe we need to put some energy into that to give you a feeder.
Yeah, I'm just completely unaware of what's happening region-wide between Sonoma and Marin. So thank you for the background and an assessment of how big the job is going to be to get it done right. So thank you.
Related to that, middle school sports, and I totally understand. We don't want to saddle you guys with this. We know that it's, as Susie said as much as well, just so you know. She's very clear. But anyway, but we have ELOP funds, so that's what we're looking at doing. But would ask you maybe if you could articulate to the board the impact of club sports on participation at your level, both in terms of just preparation, diversity, and privilege.
Well, number one, there's a few sports that take them away for the entire year. And when that happens, you don't see them play as many sports across the board. mean, when I grew up, I played every season, all 4 years. Most of my friends did that. That's not happening anymore. How to get that back, because high school sports was so much fun, is a hard question in trying to figure out how to do that. But volleyball's year-round, soccer's year-round, swim is year-round, basketball is becoming year-round. So it's getting harder and harder. So those top athletes, the ones that think they might want to play at the other next level, tend to focus on one. Even though you talk to college coaches and they like to see multiple sport athletes, they have a focus that they want to stay with one sport, and it's really tough to get that out of that mentality.
Yeah, and we talk to our trainers about this a lot as well, and we both have the same background in playing a ton of sports growing up, but playing multiple sports is also good for the body. You're working different muscles, and you're not just, fighting on the same things. Yeah. So our trainers and us are always pushing kids to try different sports. Mm-hmm. We have great athletes across the board at both of our schools, but getting them to play multiple we're always nudging that for sure.
And obviously from a financial standpoint, some can do it, some cannot at Play Club. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm asking, do you feel that having earlier exposure will increase participation at the high school level?
I think it can only help, yeah, for sure.
I'm just
Trustee
unclear
Pickens.
how the club sports interact with school sports. I'm just not as aware as some of you guys are.
They take away players from high school.
Oh, so, okay.
Trustee Pickens?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that last point that you made about not everyone has the privilege to play at the club level. And I just really appreciate the conversation about middle school and how that is an equity issue. It's also a safety issue when we're talking about our school providing opportunities for students extracurricularly. And I wanted to kind of just point to the budget that the task force created, just creating sort of more parity between both high schools, I think is a really smart move. And just want to acknowledge kind of all the different efforts that you're making, talking about community liaisons, reaching out, around the data piece. It'd be interesting to see the demographics of who our student athletes are, and that might help us kind of target those goals and see if community liaisons is a really helpful path in terms of engaging other students. So I just really appreciate that effort on the district and on your efforts.
Thank you. We're now at item 15A. This is the approval of the 23-24 third interim budget report with Joshua Bruff.
Hello, trustees. Tonight I am presenting the first ever third interim report done by me. I've never done a third interim report. Normally you do a third interim report when your second interim is found to be qualified or negative. Our second interim was positive. However, in an abundance of caution, the Marin County Office of Ed asked us to do a third interim. It's more of like a last minute checkup as you're going to close the year to make sure that you're heading in the same direction that you said you were going to. And that's really the case. So this presentation is going to be rather short because not much has changed from second interim, and what has, it's moved in the direction we want to see. So this is, just more of that information. This is as of April 30th. So by May 31st, we had to have it submitted to the Marin County Office of Ed, which we did. And then, of course, we bring it to you right after that. But this whole packet is created as of April 30th. So what are some of the things that you're not going to see in this? You're not going to see the governor's budget proposal, the May revision, so there isn't the 1.07 COLA. You're not going to see in it any of the outcomes from negotiations, because those happened after April 30th. So while the large changes of the upcoming changes for the governor's budget and the in-year changes of the retros from salary negotiations, outside of that, it's just really been basic operations that have changed some of our numbers, and like I said, in a good direction. So our MYP, we have a snapshot. It's bigger on your form, of course, than up here. But our ending fund balance is slightly higher than what we presented at second interim for all 3 years. So that's when I say we're moving in the right direction. We want to see us having a safe nest egg at the end of it to be able to weather any storms, and we've grown that a little more than at second interim that we were projecting. So really this, at first interim, we had talked about that the budget was out of whack. It wasn't where we wanted it to be. At second interim, we had it really kind of dialed in, and we said that we still had some work to do, like that it's ongoing, and that's kind of the different approach that I've had, and Jeff has done an amazing job with the budget, is to always have your hands in it and to always be massaging it in the right direction, remove expenses that aren't going to be real, find revenue as fast as you can, put it in there and update, and then talk about it, make sure everyone is part of it and participating in it. The budget, while we oversee it, it's not ours, it is NUSD's, so we make sure that we communicate about it. The big thing that's coming up really is the development of the 24-25 budget, which we will be bringing to you next week, which is kind of what makes this whole thing a little silly, is that in a week I'm going to be presenting numbers again. But that's really it for this one. I ask for any questions and approval of the positive certification of the third interim.
Questions? Okay, would anyone like to move to approve this item? I saw Trustee Butler's hand. Second. Trustee Pickus. Thank you. All in favor? You have 7 plus our student trustees. Thank you. Our next item is also presented by Joshua Braff, approval of amended 2023-2024 transportation plan.
Yes, so this is a transportation plan that began last year, and it's backdated. So you're basically making a plan for the next year, but it's called the year that you're in, and it must, the original one had to be done by April 1st, and then we're just required to update it every year. So this is an update to the plan. There are no major changes. The only change is the budget, and that has to do with step and column adjustments, hiring of staff, inflationary factors on things like gas and tires and, repair parts, etc. And we're asking for your approval of the plan and, of course, any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Josh. And for everyone else, the questions were my questions about, because I saw that we were short on bus drivers, and then I saw, I knew we were getting the 60% reimbursement, but I know you sent me an email, I haven't had a chance to get to it. Can you explain to me how we're being funded for transportation? Because it sounded like we had to come up with a number, and then we only get to increase based on that original number. Is that?
So actually, Jeff and I sat in his office and went deep diving into the CDE's website to figure this whole thing out, because no one really completely understood it. I think I have a pretty good grasp on it now. In 2012, right before the LCFF became a thing, they picked a number, and that was your transportation funding. For our district, it was $745,000. And it was that since 2012. And that's part of LCFF. So it's called out separately in the LCFF calculator, the thing that we utilize to understand how much LCFF dollars we have. But it's not its own thing. It's just all lumped in together. So here's your LCFF money. In that is $745,000 for transportation. Our transportation department costs on average around $3 million a year. So clearly that was not funding transportation. It's not anywhere close. In the 21-22 budgeting cycle, Governor Newsom proposed, along with universal meals, universal transportation. They cut a lot of that out, but they kept the funding, which was nice. And what they said is that it was going to be based on 60% of what you spent last year minus any asset purchases. So what you couldn't get money for is actually buying the buses. But you could get money for your drivers, you could get money for your repairs, your gas, all that kind of stuff. So what we found is that it is 60% of the year prior, but you have to take in that 745,000. The interesting thing, since 2012, it stayed flat. Beginning 23-24, it got COLA. So now that grows. So the formula goes, how much did you spend last year? What's 60% of that? Minus the LCFF transportation amount. We're going to give you the rest of that. So for our district, an example is like the first year of it, which is the only year we know so far because they use unaudited actuals to actually tell you how much you get. So we won't get the money for this year until next year, and then they give it back to us. Is about $800,000. So it's a great increase. But you add 800,000 to 750,000, and we're still nowhere near the 3 million that it costs to run transportation. And we only do transportation for our special education students and families, and for some very specific unduplicated categories. So we don't even do general ed population.
So it's partly because this comes up sometimes in JLAC, and you know about bus shortage, you know, staffing shortages and all these different elements, and how we have these things that we're supposed to do, but we never get funded. So if you can indulge me for just a moment, the amount will change then. So I understand the 700 and whatever originally that was in before, but the amount that we will get reimbursed will change each year outside of not just with the increase, the COLA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from
So
what
it's
our
not
new
stagnant.
understanding is that we will get 60% of whatever we spent the year prior, minus any asset purchases.
And minus the 7 whatever that was rolled into LCAP, or they completely, okay. All right, I feel a bit better, because I start, again, part of it was because if we're having all these expenses for taxi driving or whatever, that our expenses were going up, and that this is a positive thing to at least be able to recover some of the 60%. And so when I first heard that there might be a stagnant number, I became a little concerned, because I'm like, well, that's not very, sometimes the state will give us something that seems really positive, and then you roll it out and you look at it and you're like, well, this didn't really help anything at all. So I was worried that it was a fixed thing, foundational start, and that we weren't going to really see much gain from it going forward. So I appreciate your time that you spent looking at it, and I will concur, because the written code was different, the ed code was different than the FAQs that I was looking at, and I was going crazy. I'm like, okay, these two aren't even aligned.
The LCFF one and this program are both called home to school transportation. So that also makes it pretty confusing that you don't know which one they're talking about, and that was part of the problem. I thought you got COLA on the new amount, but nope, you get COLA on the old amount.
Okay. Well, and I know there was also the whole superintendent thing and the count, and I'm like, I don't know who's who in any of this.
They mean
so.
the CDE.
Okay, I'm good with this. I appreciate the work and effort, and I'm sorry that I took time on this, but every bit for me counts if we can help support and make sure that we're getting what we can to support transportation, and also the shortage of drivers. Mm-hmm. So
Any additional questions? I also just want to thank you. Some things that just come annually, it's good for us to understand what they mean and what they are doing. So thank you.
Well, this is also new, so you're very
Okay.
right. Like no one knew about this, right? This is the first revision we've ever done.
Would anyone like to move this item through? Trustee Millerick, and I saw Trustee Gasson with a second. All in favor of approving? 7 plus our student trustees. Okay, thank you. The next regular board meeting will be June 11th. Once again, we respectfully close the meeting in honor of our former trustee, Patricia Warren.